Ever wondered why some of your favorite artists suddenly disappear from the spotlight? The music industry often paints a picture of glamour, fame, and overflowing wealth. But beneath this glitzy veneer lies a different, harsher reality. The industry is a master of illusion. It can make an artist seem wealthier than they truly are, creating a perception of success that's often far from the truth. The flashy cars, the designer clothes, the luxurious homes, these are often leased or borrowed, not owned. Many artists earn less than you might think. Record deals, studio time, promotion, touring, these all come with hefty price tags, often leaving artists with a fraction of their earnings. Moreover, the disparity between an artist's perceived wealth and their actual income can be startling. The riches and the fame are not always what they seem. So, the first dark secret is that success in the music industry isn't always as lucrative as it seems. But where does all the money go, you might ask? Well, the answer isn't as glamorous as one might think. In the world of glitz and fame, the successful artist is often left counting pennies. This is due in large part to the hidden costs that are part and parcel of a music career. Let's start with management fees. A good manager can open doors, but they'll also take a hefty cut of the artist's earnings. Then there's the cost of touring. From hotel rooms to petrol, these expenses add up quickly and can eat into an artist's profits. And let's not forget about studio time. It's an essential part of creating music, but it doesn't come cheap. So while the life of a successful artist may appear to be filled with riches and luxury, the reality is often far different. The second dark truth is the hidden costs that can leave artists in debt. Do your favorite artists always get to sing what they want? The answer, more often than not, is a resounding no. The tug of war for creative control is a battle often waged behind the glossy veneer of the music industry. It's a struggle where artists fight tooth and nail to retain their unique voice amidst a sea of homogenized sound. Record labels, more often than not, hold the reins. They're the puppet masters pulling the strings, dictating the direction an artist's music should take. Why? For them, it's all about marketability, about selling records. They're driven by the bottom line, not by the artist's creative vision. Artists who resist, who dare to defy the mold, are often met with resistance. They're pressured to conform, to trade their distinctive sound for a guaranteed hit. This stifling of creativity is a dark reality often hidden from public view. The third dark reality is the loss of creative freedom. How do artists keep up with the ever-changing music trends? That's the million-dollar question. Artists are under constant pressure to stay relevant, to keep producing hit songs, to keep topping the charts. It's a relentless, unforgiving treadmill that never stops. Why? Because the music industry is always on the lookout for the next big thing. Today's superstar can easily become tomorrow's has-been. This constant pressure to stay in the limelight can take a toll on an artist's mental health. It's a high-stakes game. And the fear of becoming irrelevant can lead to anxiety, depression, and even substance abuse. Artists are human after all. They need time to rest, to recharge, to create. But the music industry often sees them as commodities, as products to be sold and discarded when no longer profitable. And so, the fourth dark side of the music industry reveals itself, the unrelenting pressure to stay in the limelight. Is there such a thing as privacy when you're a famous artist? Imagine a life where every move you make, every word you utter, even the most personal moments of your life are under constant scrutiny. This is the reality for many artists in the music industry. Fame often leads to an invasion of privacy, turning their lives into a public spectacle. Every relationship, every heartbreak, every mistake is amplified and dissected by the public eye. And let's not forget the paparazzi hovering like vultures, eager to capture and exploit the most intimate aspects of their lives. The pressure of living under a microscope can be overwhelming, leading to stress and anxiety. It's a high price to pay for success and one that many are unprepared for. So before you dream of the spotlight, consider this. The fifth dark truth is the loss of privacy that comes with fame. Ever noticed how young some of these artists are? It's no secret that the music industry is always on the hunt for fresh, youthful talent. But beneath this search, there lies a darker truth: the exploitation of these young artists. Imagine this. A 14-year-old, bright-eyed and full of dreams, signs their first contract. They're promised fame, fortune, and a lifetime of music. But what they're not told about are the long hours, the grueling tours, and the constant scrutiny they'll be under. It's a world that demands everything from them, leaving little room for school, friends, or just the simple pleasures of being young. Often they're bound by unfair contracts that heavily favor the industry, leaving them with a minuscule fraction of their earnings. These contracts can span years, effectively chaining these artists to an industry that sees them as commodities, not individuals. The sixth dark reality is the exploitation of young and vulnerable artists. Why do so many artists turn to drugs and alcohol? This question often echoes in the corridors of the music industry, a shadowy underbelly that many are not privy to. Substance abuse in this world isn't just a mere coincidence, it's a culture, a deeply ingrained part of the industry's fabric. This culture is often normalized, seen as part and parcel of the artist's life. Some feel the pressure to maintain a certain image, to fit into the stereotype of the tortured artist. For others, it's a coping mechanism, an escape from the intense pressures and scrutiny they constantly face. Unfortunately, there are instances where this behavior is not just condoned, but actively encouraged. A dangerous narrative that equates substance abuse with creativity and genius. A narrative that has claimed far too many lives. Therefore, the seventh dark side is the rampant substance abuse. A grim reality that continues to cast a long, formidable shadow on the music industry. Why do so many artists suffer from mental health issues? Within the music industry, it's a question that lingers in the air, often unspoken but always present. The mental health crisis is a grim reality artists face in their pursuit of fame. Behind the glitz and glamour, many musicians grapple with high rates of depression and anxiety. The pressures of the industry, the constant scrutiny, and the isolation that often comes with fame can take a significant toll on an artist's mental well-being. It's a world where vulnerability is both an artist's greatest asset and their biggest downfall. The constant need to create, to outdo their last hit, to be on all the time, it's a cycle that can lead to burnout and a sense of hopelessness. And unfortunately, the industry often fails to provide the necessary support to these artists in their darkest hours. The eighth dark truth is the mental health crisis plaguing the industry. How does one mistake affect an artist's career? In the music industry, the answer can be devastating. Cancel culture looms like a dark cloud, ready to storm at the slightest provocation. It's a form of public shaming where an artist can be boycotted for a single misstep, a past mistake, or even a misunderstood comment. And it's not just about being unfollowed on social media. It can result in lost contracts, canceled tours, and alienation from the industry. In this digital age, where everything is recorded and nothing is forgotten, artists are just one tweet away from career annihilation. The power of public opinion has never been more potent, and it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a tool for accountability, but on the other, it's a weapon of mass career destruction. The ninth dark reality is the unforgiving nature of cancel culture. How long do most music careers last? This question brings us to the sobering reality of the music industry, the lack of longevity. The music industry is a revolving door, with new artists constantly emerging and fading away. The spotlight is a fickle friend, often moving on to the next big thing before the echo of the last hit song has even faded away. Many artists experience a meteoric rise to fame, but sustaining that success is another story altogether. It's not uncommon for musicians to have a career span of just a few years, maybe a decade if they're lucky. This short-lived fame can be disheartening, leaving many artists feeling used and discarded. The industry is always on the hunt for fresh talent, making it incredibly difficult for artists to maintain their relevance over a long period. And in the end, even the most successful musicians are not immune to the fleeting nature of fame. The 10th and final dark side is the fleeting nature of fame in the music industry. To sum up, the music industry isn't all glitz and glamour. The illusion of success often overshadows the hidden costs, both financial and emotional, artists bear. The struggle for creative control is real, as is the pressure to continuously stay relevant in a rapidly evolving landscape. One's privacy is often invaded, scrutinized by the public eye, leaving no room for personal space. Young artists are exploited, their naivety taken advantage of, and the culture of substance abuse is, unfortunately, more prevalent than we'd like to admit. The industry is grappling with a mental health crisis, with artists often bearing the brunt of it. The threat of cancel culture looms large, with careers ending overnight due to a misstep. The lack of longevity in careers is a stark reality, with many artists fading into oblivion after their moment in the sun. So next time you dream about becoming a superstar, remember these dark truths about the music industry.